background. Deku's parents are both pro heroes and met when they were at patrol. Deku's mom is known as Inko Midoriya, also known as the Force. She's a powerful hero which has a very powerful telekinesis quirk. Who has climbed their way up to the top 20 heroes, being currently named the 15th hero. Asashi Midoriya is Deku's father. His name is Barrier and has a very powerful red-colored barrier quirk that can be manipulated for combat, defense, and transportation. Deku's father can crush people's bones by forming a barrier around them. He can defend by creating barriers, and he can use his barrier to fly. We set the story off when Deku was at the age of 4, defending a kid who Bakugo was bullying. Bakugo is about to throw a punch at Deku infused with this quirk when Deku braces for the impact. But the impact from Kachan never comes. Kachan was stopped by a golden barrier. A few seconds later, something like a barrier shockwave was produced, throwing Bakugo to the ground and hit all of his lackeys. Deku's parents were both on patrol at the time. They were contacted. Inko, being named the number 15th hero, couldn't get off patrol, but his father, Deku's father, was a lower level hero and was able to get off patrol. His father took him to the quirk doctor. The quirk doctor told Hisashi that Deku has a mutation of his mother and father's quirk, but we don't know much about it, and we are going to give you guys a room for 1 to 2 weeks so we can identify the quirk and its complicity. 2 weeks passed, so the doctor came to the conclusion that Deku does have a mutation of his parents' quirk. The doctor told them they're calling it Conqueror's Barrier. Deku, returning to school, told his friends all about his new quirk and the ways he could use it. He apologizes to Deku, saying that he felt like he hurt him. After school, Deku and his dad went home to the humongous backyard to train. Since Hisashi's quirk was most resemblant to Deku, he was the one who was going to train him at first. Deku was a fast learner and and within the month was already able to fly. We take a 2-year time skip. Deku is still a huge fan of All Might, and his mom is one of the top 10 heroes. Asashi has broken into the top 50, being named the 46th hero. On his 6th birthday, everything changed for them. Inko, being the top 10, is good friends with All Might and convinced him to come to Izuku's birthday party. All Might arrives and the place goes absolutely wild, screaming, "All Might, All Might, All Might." All Might, who hasn't gotten his injury yet, stayed for the whole party. Hisashi wasn't able to attend because he was on patrol that night. On patrol, Hisashi enters a dark alley when he is jumped and beaten and battered and taken away. One of the people who had took him laid down a body in an alley, showing a resemblance to a burnt and dead Barrier. Deku and his mom don't find out about it till the next morning when he doesn't come home from his patrol. Deku and his mom both go out to search the city. Deku using his barrier to fly, and his mom using her telekinesis to bounce from building to building. They find his body in the alleyway, burnt and dead. At the funeral, there were tons of heroes, the whole top 10 and other of Hisashi's friends. It was not an open casket because the body was too gruesome, but we know that it's just a fake. We take a 9-year time skip. Deku was gotten complete control over his father's side of the quirk and is training with his mother and her hero friends. We are now venturing into the canon timeline where Deku's mother has not changed in rank. Bakugo throughout the years has become one of Deku's best friends, and for the 10-month time period, they both decide to train together. Deku wanting to train his other aspect of his quirk, the shockwave. The one that put fear into Bakugo's eyes when he first used it. All Might watches them for the first week of their training at Dagobah Beach, clearing trash and getting as they get permission to use their quirks because of her mother. Baku yells, "Oi, Deku! Go to the other side. This is my side. Kachan, we did rock, paper, scissors. I got this side." The yelling continues as Baku says, "Hey, Deku, let's settle this with a battle, you fucking nerd." Deku says, I'm not a nerd, you hothead. Let's settle this right now." The battle is completely one-sided when Deku completely pummels Bakugo. When Bakugo taps out, Deku says, "Yes, I get to move the most trash," allowing him to train more. All Might is still watching these people in a skeleton form. Changing into his buff form, All Might decides to jump over to them. All Might, miscalculating his jump, is flying right towards the pile of trash, not being able to change direction. Deku and Bakugo are finished cleaning up, and All Might is yelling, "Oh no!" But he never lands. He's inches away from hitting the trash, but there is a thin golden barrier that is keeping him from crashing into a pile of trash. Side note, Deku is also has learned how to regulate the thickness of his barrier. Deku, recognizing All Might from him being around his mom's house a lot, knows about his skeleton form and says, "Hey All Might, what are you doing here?" "My boy, I'm here to tell you that I want to train you and young Bakugo here." "All Might training us? Wow," Bakugo says, "I can't believe it." We're going to skip to the end of the training session. End of the 10 months. I decided to give Bakugo one for all because he was at a huge disadvantage when fighting Deku. We're going to say that Bakugo can use full cowling at 5% at the start of the entrance exam. Deku, being so smart, acing the written exam, getting the highest score, with Bakugo following a bit behind with the second highest score. In the entrance exam, Bakugo and Deku are both in different provisional exam areas. They both decide to do their complete best, completely destroying every single robot. Deku using his barriers to crush the robots and his shockwave to destroy them. Deku was also able to learn how to concentrate the space where his shockwave would go. Near the end of the exam, Deku sees a girl under the rubble. Seeing that the Zero Pointer, which is still a huge robot, is about to crush her, Deku rushes on his barrier to go over to her. He uses one barrier to carry her out of the destruction zone and uses his barrier shockwave to blast the robot up. It isn't enough to destroy him, but it's enough for him to be able to form a barrier around him and crush him into a tiny little ball. Deku is waiting for 2 weeks to get his letter from UA. Bakugo got his letter 2 weeks ago and already knew that Deku broke the record for the most points on the entrance exam, being 130 before. Deku's mom is currently ranked the number 3 hero in all of Japan. All Might lately has been spending a lot of time with Inko, and one night All Might comes to Deku's house with an envelope from UA that didn't come with the hologram like in canon. Deku gets a private acceptance from All Might telling him that he broke the entrance exam record, Deku getting 160 points. Deku screams, "Oh my god, I broke the record, I broke the record." Minutes later, All Might is on his knees. "Inko, you've made the last 6 months the best months of my life, and I want to make a lifetime of memories with you. Will you marry me?" We cut back to Deku saying, "Holy shit!" And that's where I'm gonna end it here. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to the description and follow my Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Go follow Six Misa, who is one of my favorite what if YouTubers and my boss. Have a nice day and peace.
Okay.